Good morning, everybody. How are you? I'm so excited to be here today.
What? You mean I have to wash the dishes again?
Do you have a problem doing dishes? I mean, do you have a habit of dishes piling up on your counter? Is your sink always filled with dishes? Is your kitchen always a mess?
Well, if your dishes aren't done, then let's get to washing your dishes right now. Work with me.
I have a problem with dishes. It's a hang-up. It's an issue I have, maybe from childhood trauma, having to do so many dishes. I don't really know. All I know is that I have an issue with it. I recognize it and I'm willing to deal with it. Yesterday I fell behind, but I don't consider it behind because I made one goal. My new rule for me is do the dishes at least once a day. Some people wash them all day long. Some people are good at doing them right after this and that and the other. I'm good at rinsing them after we eat. I'm good at rinsing things off that need to soak for a minute. I'm good at that. I will give myself a pat on the back for that. But I am not good at doing the dishes every single night after dinner because there's always something crazy going on. There's a few days a week I can do it right after dinner and I love those days. Those are my favorite days. But once in a while just something gets in, a wrench gets in the spokes or whatever, and I can't do them. Today's one of those days. You're about to see what I'm talking about.
Okay, so here's the kitchen I woke up to this morning. Yeah, I went to bed with it like that last night. But I had somebody clear the table, I had somebody clear the bar, so this happened after the fact. I didn't wash the table or the bar, but yeah, here's the mess. Now you can see what
mess. I'm telling you, after 28 years of doing this every day, it gets exhausting. I'm kind of burnt out, but I'm constantly trying to find ways to rejuvenate myself because I still have to do it, and I'm gonna do it today because that's what's going to make a difference, is doing my dishes every day. Maybe someday when I don't have little kids everywhere and things aren't crazy all the time with all the remodeling, well, the redecorating and refurniture moving and moving kids around from room to room is done, maybe things will be smoother. But until that time, if I don't like to do the dishes and I don't like the dishes dirty, then either I can wash them or I can pay someone to wash them. And since I don't want to pay anybody to do the dishes because I know it's only going to take me about 10 or 15 minutes, then guess what? I'm going to do the work. And that changes my mind, changes my attitude, and then I'm like, what do I need to do to make this happen? Okay, fine, hurry and wash out the sink and fill it with hot soapy water, and then I'm going to start throwing dishes in, and then I'm going to start washing all the counters off. I'll change the tablecloth, and then I can do everything really fast, and you'll see that in the video I'm about to show you.
So the first thing I'm going to do is get my apron and put it on. There's just something about that apron. It helps me keep from getting messy and makes me feel more like working. I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. I have several. This week is week 2 of the Fly Lady system. Week 2 is always the kitchen zone. So for the zone, I've picked a few things that I need to take care of this week in the kitchen. One being to wash out the fridge really good, not just do the quick wipe that I usually do once a week. I'm also going to wash down the cabinet fronts. That usually goes pretty quick, and I'll do that tomorrow. I'll probably do everything for my zone tomorrow. I also need to wipe out a couple of drawers, maybe even a couple of cabinets, just to make sure everything's still good and there's not crumbs and spices and things like that everywhere. I'll also tidy up the pantry a little bit. I noticed that it's getting a little bit disorganized. We've used a lot of things in there and we just need to tidy it up. That should make a big difference. Just doing a few things every month makes such a huge difference in the kitchen. Seriously, when those counters are cleared and they're wiped off, the kitchen just looks amazing. It doesn't take that long. All you have to do is clear the clutter. Once the clutter's gone, then it looks good. So if you have piles and piles of clutter on your counters and on your table, it's time to clear that off. Now is clear and wash the counters. When they're clear, it makes it easier to wipe them down. I'll wash out the sink and then fill it up with hot soapy water like I told you. The hot soapy water gets those dishes that are a little bit stickier just soaking, and then they're ready to wash when I get to them after I've washed the counters off. You see my son Oversized in this video a lot because he doesn't start school till about an hour after the younger kids go to school. So it just gives us a little bit of time to hang out. I give him a few extra chores as well. Lucky kid. The kitchen really seems to be the heart of the home. I mean, we eat 3 meals a day in there, and sometimes snacks, and who knows what else. We can even hang out in there, play games at the table, but not if it's a mess. The counters have to be clear. The table has to be clear. So if yours is a mess, I would consider focusing on one or the other, your main counter or your table. Start clearing it today. Put that stuff somewhere else. I'm sure it doesn't all belong in the kitchen. We find the craziest things everywhere. Just gather it up and get it out of there. And then I'll just take my little silver scrubby and scrub that bar. That's the nice thing about granite, is you can use those steel wool scrubbies. They don't scratch it, they don't seem to bother it at all. So I just use hot soapy water and one of those scrubbies, and everything comes clean on that granite. I don't know about other counters, but granite for sure. I've been using granite for years. But whatever you do, don't feel bad if your kitchen's a mess. The trick is to keep it simplified. And then to get all your dishes done. Because once the kitchen is simplified, that's all you really have to do is the dishes every day. Everything else is easy. Just be sure to let me know if any of these tips help you, or even if you have any of your own tips that might work. It's always good to have more ideas so that we can all stay motivated. Because doing the same mundane task every day can get draining and daunting. But if we work together and we continually help each other, then we can have beautiful kitchens all the time. So let me know. Drop a comment. Be sure to like and subscribe while you're at it. About to finish setting up the table. I love when it's finished. It always is just like putting the pillows on the bed. It just looks so much nicer when the bed's made. But this is for the kitchen. Isn't it beautiful? Simple, no trouble, just beautiful. I love how encouraging that Fly Lady is for taking care of different things in your house. Everything looks better, you feel more peaceful, and you're just happier all the time. I like to clean my kitchen. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So I can just kind of clear my mind, think about what I want to think. In the evening, I'm more inclined to listen to the radio while I clean the kitchen, but during times like this, I just like to kind of do almost a meditation while I'm washing the dishes, while I'm wiping the counters. I'm just thinking of things and thinking about things, clearing my thoughts, releasing things that are bothering me, trying not to let things fester, and just doing more constructive things with my mind during that time. A lot of times I'll actually watch YouTube videos or listen to a talk or listen to scripture. It's amazing how much peace that can bring. And then especially if your mind is starting to wander and you're thinking crazy thoughts. And if I don't want to wash the dishes and I have a really bad attitude, that's when I definitely put on a YouTube or music so that I'm not thinking about it. Especially when I'm watching something on YouTube, then I'm not even thinking about washing the dishes a whole lot. It helps the time pass by faster and helps me just focus on what I need to do without really thinking about it. It's kind of fun. Do you want to know what was going on in my head while I was washing the dishes today? Here, I'll tell you a little story. We'll call it story time during the dishes. I remember when my kitchen was decluttered, but I had a hard time getting the dishes done. Sometimes we'd go days without getting the dishes washed. Have you ever had that happen? It's terrible, isn't it? things start to smell and corrode. Everything's hard on the pans and the dishes. It's just ridiculous. In fact, I remember one time, it's so embarrassing, but I remember that we had dishes that hadn't been done for days. Kids were sick, I was sick, we had to go somewhere, we came home, just everything. And one day after another, I wasn't in the habit, so the dishes weren't done. I was in the habit of not doing the dishes, is more like it. In fact, I think I even only did the dishes once a week for a time. But anyways, back to the story. I took a black trash bag, a giant black trash bag, like a 33-gallon one, and I filled it up with the dirty dishes. And that wasn't even enough. I had to get a kitchen trash bag and fill it up with more dirty dishes. I kind of sorted what I was putting in there. In the black one, I put pots and pans and bigger dishes, and in the little one, I put the little stuff. But it was ridiculous. I thought that way I could just do a little bit at a time. I went ahead and cleared all my counters and washed them and got that kitchen back under control. And then I just brought out those dishes, a few every hour, till I could face all of them. And before the end of the day, I had all those dishes done. I just couldn't look at them on the counters. It was making me crazy. I put them in the pantry and then just pulled them out a few at a time. See if that helps you. It might. You never know. And it's definitely better than growing things that might be considered as a science experiment, you know? I just take a minute and go clean the bathroom because I know it's only a 2-minute job. To swish and swipe that toilet, wipe the mirror spots, and wipe out the sink real quick. It's amazing how fast it goes.
Okay, so it's done, y'all. I got it done in just over 30 minutes, like 33 minutes. But that took time to put my apron on and just kind of figure things out. So I really say under 30 minutes. But hey, it's done, and I did it. My attitude wasn't good when I started, except I wasn't as discouraged as I used to be because I knew it would be quick cleanup. And I knew I was gonna make the kitchen look great and it was gonna be done and look beautiful for me all day long while the kids are gone. And that's the only perk I have for my kids being at public school, is just a little peace and quiet. So the other thing is that, you know, all these years I had this bad attitude about doing the dishes, about cleaning the house, and I just had made up my mind to change my mind. Of course, Kat Brewer had a lot to do with that because she taught me how to change my mind in a different way than I'd ever changed it before. Just about the way you look at it in a different attitude. You know, I never thought about how off my perception could be. I knew that I had perception problems sometimes, but I never knew it could be that off. So I would just think, with the dishes, you know, Kat just taught me, change my mind. Don't be so negative about it. Be more positive about it. And I thought, well, hey, that's how I always think about my house. I mean, when my house is a mess and I think, it's driving me nuts. I can't take it. Everything's cluttered and everything's not where it's supposed to be. I need to get this back together. And I think, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I hate doing it. I don't want to do it. But then at the last minute, I think, hey, why not? I could pay someone to do it. Do I want to do that? Do I have the money for that? Am I willing to do that? Or should I just save a few bucks and do it myself? It's not gonna take that long. What would I ask a housekeeper to do? I wouldn't ask them to put all the kids' clothes away. I wouldn't ask them to put the kids' toys away or pick up all their crap that they leave all over downstairs. I would just get a box, a bin, or a bucket and just throw it all in there. All the stuff that doesn't belong. Now that box and bucket and bin become the kids' chore when they get home and they get to clean it out. It's wonderful. It works great for me that way. But you know, I love to dust. I love to clean the house. Well, I would say more, I love a clean house. Therefore, I will clean the house because it helps. The same goes with the dishes. I hate dirty dishes. I hate the kitchen a mess. I love the kitchen sparkly clean. I don't even mind the clean dishes just sitting right there over my shoulder. But I had to do them. Who cares? It's done. Take care.